So how much money exactly do you need to bring to the table in order to purchase a new home in St. George, or in order to even get started? Do you know the answer to this question? According to the National Federation of Realtors, NAR, over 60% of new buyers have absolutely no clue. So stick around until the end of this video and you will learn exactly how much cash you need to bring to the table in order to buy a new home in St. George. I'm going to interview our preferred lender over at Guild Mortgage in order to provide you guys with some of the answers to all of the most commonly asked questions if you're just planning to buy your first home. Scott Stout is going to help us answer some of the most common questions, like how much money do you need to bring to the table, what is a good down payment, and what are some of the available loan programs that you may not be aware of that may be holding you back from purchasing a home and continuing to waste money on rent. My name is Nick Rostopchin. I'm a realtor here in St. George. I help people buy, sell, and invest in real estate out here in Southern Utah. I created this YouTube channel in order to provide a free, reliable source of information to anybody that's looking at relocating to Southern Utah, selling their home here, or if they're just looking to learn about this beautiful area. So if you're new around here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it so that you don't miss any of our new videos. As we were driving over to Guild Mortgage, Michon and I were talking about some of the topics that may be interesting to our viewers that are perhaps thinking about buying a home in St. George or anywhere else for that matter. And we came up with the conclusion that she gets asked a lot more questions from our buyers since she works with most of our buyers. So we decided it would be best that she does the interviewing since she has all of the questions.
We're here at Guild Mortgage with Scott Stout, and we are just talking about how much money you will need to be able to purchase a home in St. George. How much cash does somebody actually need to expect to save up to be able to start the home buying process?
That's a great question. So honestly, 20% down in a perfect world would be great. But for a person purchasing a primary residence, it's not necessary at all. There are options as low as 3% down or even 0% down available for first-time home buyers. So the process could be started potentially in a perfect world. You know, the realtor might be able to negotiate the seller to pay the closing costs wrapped up into the purchase price in the contract, and that's super common in our market here for first-time home buyers. It's happening probably 75% of the time. So there's loan programs out there with virtually zero money at closing.
Okay.
Zero money cash to close. You can purchase your first home.
Awesome.
But there are some great options that start with as low as 3% down, some traditional mortgage options. So honestly, the sooner you can get in, start saving obviously, but the sooner you can get in and sit down with the lender and go over all your options, the better.
So Scott, you mentioned some zero down options. How many options do they have for zero down?
I can think of 4 very common zero down options. Utah Housing has two different loan programs. One's a conventional loan without mortgage insurance that you can come in with zero down at closing, and one's a FHA loan that is a little more lenient on qualifying, that is also potentially coming in zero down at closing. So how these loans are structured is they have a first mortgage that covers the normal 3% for conventional and 3.5% for FHA down payment. They have a second mortgage that covers that 3 to 3.5% and most of the closing costs.
Awesome.
So virtually with this loan program and with the right negotiations on the contract, you can come in and purchase this home with virtually zero money at closing, zero cash to close. Obviously, there's the common ones of VA loans where you have to be a veteran and have served in the military, and then there's also USDA loans, and those are super common. But you have to buy on the outskirts of St. George. So Santa Clara, Washington, and St. George will not work for this loan program. They consider a rural housing, so that's Hurricane and out and Ivins and out.
Oh, okay.
So Cedar City, Dameron Valley, Enterprise, Ivins, Hurricane, all those areas will work for USDA loan. So those are definitely the most common zero down loan programs out there. But a lot of them are super lenient on qualifying, and we do quite a number of them.
That's a lot of options. What can somebody expect with a conventional loan?
Typically, the minimum down payment on a conventional loan is going to be 3%. A lot of times for primary residence, people put up to 5% down. Cool thing about a conventional loan, I mean, this can be your investment property. You can purchase as an investment property, second home, or your primary. It doesn't have to be your primary residence like a VA loan or an FHA loan has to be. So, typical down payment for a investment property is going to be 20%. Second home is going to be 10%, and 3 to 5% for a primary residence on a traditional mortgage conventional loan. So the cool thing about a conventional loan is the mortgage insurance. So anytime you put less than 20% down on a mortgage, you're going to have on a home, you're going to have some form of mortgage insurance. And so the cool thing about a conventional is once you have 20% equity in the home and you paid that principal balance down to 80%, that mortgage insurance automatically gets removed. So that's unique compared to FHA, whereas the mortgage insurance is on there for the life of the loan. It's sometimes a little bit lower, depending on how much you're putting down on a conventional loan. It's through a private company, so it's priced out similar to your car insurance, where it's going to be subject to your credit score, your loan to value, down payment, and some other factors that way. But either way is a great option, but that conventional loan, that mortgage insurance, most important difference is it automatically gets removed once you have 20% equity.
So a lot of my first time home buying clients are really concerned about their credit score. So what options do you have, or what would you suggest to do for someone who's concerned about their credit score?
Option, first and foremost, the most important thing to do is sit down with a professional, have someone who's looked at thousands of credit reports, analyze yours, see what might can be done to get your credit up to where it needs to be. If it's not there yet, let you know where you're at now, and then most importantly, give you a roadmap and a game plan to follow to get you to where you need to be. Because a lot of times you can be thinking you're doing good for your credit and you're actually causing it to go down. You pay off an old collection account, your score drops 60 points, you thought it should have gone up. That's why it's important to sit down with a professional, because there's a lot of instances where stuff like that does happen, and you'll focus your money, your time, energy, and money into something that's going to have the most impact on getting your score ready. So if you are concerned with credit being an issue, get in, sit down with a professional, and let's figure out a game plan for you to follow. Make sure you're mortgage ready as soon as possible.
Well, folks, there you have it. As you can see, there are plenty of great options to get into a new home with little to no money down in 2019. If you're ready to chat with a lender, make sure to reach out to Scott Stout. He is awesome at answering any and all of your questions regarding lending. If you're ready to talk to a realtor, make sure to give Michon or myself a call. Contact information for all three of us in the description below this video. So make sure to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. If you stuck around this far into this video, you are definitely awesome and your parents should be thanked. If you found this video helpful, there are some other videos right here that you might find interesting. I will post links to them right up here. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it so that you don't miss any of our new videos. We post new videos weekly. Thank you so much for checking out this video. We really appreciate your feedback in the form of likes, dislikes, or comments. Let's get a conversation started. If you feel that you have additional questions and you'd like to discuss them, drop them in the comments below and we'll make sure to get back to every single one of them. I will see you in the next one. Peace.